Hello everyone, this is grade 6, module 2, lesson 9 problem set. For number 1 it says, find each sum or difference. So I'll do a few of these, and what we want to do for this is turn them back into decimals. So we're trying to find decimals in terms of this. And we could do it as fractions if we wanted to, but we want to go to whichever is easiest. So for A, it says 381 and 1/10. I know that when I say 1/10, it either means 1/10 or 1/10. So I can easily change that one into a decimal, and I see 43 hundredths for the second one, 214 and 43 hundredths. And again, 43 hundredths, and I'm looking at this, or 43 hundredths. So when I say it, 43 hundredths, it could be a fraction or a decimal. So this one is going to lend very nicely to turning it to decimals, because I know when I do fractions, they have to have common denominators. So I'm going to do one off to the side, and 381 and 1/10, and then we have 214 and 43 hundredths. And we're subtracting this, and I want to add a placeholder in the hundredth spot, and now I can go through and start subtracting out. And you're going to notice that I have to borrow a little bit here. And I'm not really borrowing, I'm decomposing. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. That when I'm decomposing, I'm going to the next place value and breaking down that number to bring to the next one. So when I get done with my problem, I see that I'll get 167 and 67 hundredths. Let's do B, because that one, I see 3/4 and a half. So 32 3/4 and 12 1/2. And I know that a half is the same as 2/4. So I actually feel like I'm going to do this one as a fraction, because it's just easy to find a common unit. So 32 3/4, and I'll do this vertically. 12 and 2/4. I have to have a common unit to subtract these, and I do now. I have fourths. And 3 take away 2 is 1/4. I have to keep my denominator, and then I can just subtract like normal for those other whole numbers. So 20 and 1/4, which is the same as 20 and 1/4. So there's two different ways to look at it, decimals and as fractions. Let's take a look at one more of these, and we'll do, how about D, because D looks a little bit like something I don't want to mess with, but we'll do it anyways. So 632 and 16/25 plus 32 3/10. Now, finding a common denominator is going to get kind of high. It looks like it'll be 50, but that's still quite high. I know that with 16/25, I can get that to hundredths. And if I get it to either 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, I can then make a decimal, because those are going to be decimal fractions. So I know 25 times 4 will give me 100. So I have to do 4 over 4, because again, that's going to make a 1 whole. And 4/4 is what we need for this. 4 times 16 is 64. So it looks like it's now 64 hundredths. And I have 3/10. So those immediately can go into decimals. 632 and, with my decimal point, 64 hundredths. Plus 32 and 3/10. And I'm going to add a 0 for my placeholder, and I'm just going to start adding. And I bring my decimal straight down, and it looks like I'll get 664 and 94 hundredths, and that's D. So let's head down to, I'll do E, because I see the bottom one, number 2, requires a calculator. So I'll do E down here. And we have 421 and 3/50ths minus 212 and 9/10. And again, I see 50 is half of 100, so if I multiply those by 2, I'll get 6/100ths, and now I can make it a decimal. And I'd rather do that than try to make a fraction with a common denominator of 100 or of 50. I see it could be, but that's still doing quite a bit of work. So I'm going to redo my problem to do 421 and 6/100ths. So 6 in the hundredths, 0 in the tenths. And then I'm going to subtract 212 and 9/10. I'll add a 0 for my placeholder. And now I'm just going to start decomposing and subtracting. And we should end up, hopefully, with 208 and 16/100ths. And you would get probably 208 and 8/50ths, which would then go to 4/25ths. So it looks like if you did as a fraction, that's what your answer would be. Same exact thing, just in different forms. One's fractional form, one is decimal form. So we're going to go down to the second part, which is number 2, and I'm going to do one of these with a calculator. And my calculator is going to look different. I'm going to use Google for this because I can't import a calculator in, but you'll see the idea. So I have A, and I have 422, and I have 367 as my whole numbers, and I have 3/7 and 5/9. And I see that my directions say use a calculator to do the sum or difference, and then round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to go out to the thousandths, actually, when I find my decimal, so then I can round to the hundredths. So I'm going to go out 3 decimal places. So the first one, 3/7, I'm going to bring up a web browser here, and hopefully you can see this. And I'm going to type in just 3 divided by 7. And there it is on my calculator, decimal point 42857142857. So I want to look, there's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So I got to look at this 10,000ths place as 5. It's going to change the 8 to a 9 because it's rounding up. So decimal point 429 or 429 thousandths. That's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to go back to my number, and I'll put 429 thousandths. Now I have to do the exact same thing for 5/9. So again, I'm going to use my web browser, and I think it was 5 divided by 9, I hope. And it looks like it's just decimal point and a bunch of 5s. So again, I got to come out to the thousandths place, and I'm not just going to keep it as decimal point 555. This one is going to tell this to round up. So that's going to go to a 6. So I'm going to use 556 thousandths, or decimal point 556. And that's going to help me out quite a bit with the rest of my problem. Because now I'm out to the thousands, so I can make a better rounding answer. So here we go. I'm going to subtract these out. And you're going to see I'm going to have to decompose some numbers. Quite a few of them, actually. Pretty much all of them. Because I can't really subtract anything, or I can't subtract anything when there's a smaller value on the top, so I have to decompose from the next place value over. So when I get finished, I have 54 and 873 thousandths. This says round to the hundredths, so I'm looking at the thousandths place. It's a 3, so this 7 stays the same. So I have 54 and 87 hundredths. So that's what you'll do for part B. Take the fraction, turn them into decimals using a calculator, and make sure you go out to the thousandths place so then you can make a best rounding for the hundredths. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the rest of your problem set.